The best salespeople out there don't hustle for business. Business comes to them. Good morning, everybody. Today, Ruby and myself are talking about the impacts of what matters when it comes to having a personal brand and building that into your markets. So company brand, amazing, has to happen, not optional. You got to go out there and make sure you're doing something different, something remarkable, as I continue to say. But as salespeople, as sales teams, you got to do the same thing, only in a much more narrow spot. So again, the best salespeople are not out there hustling for business. Business comes to them. And so it's really thinking differently about how you approach that as a rep. And this is why building personal brand, and that can be super offline, super hyper local. That's your networking at chamber events. That's being in the places where your prospects spend their time physically. That's doing things that help you in a very hyper local way become known for whatever. You see that a lot in real estate. Real estate's a great example of what that means when that person seems to have, everybody seems to go to that real estate person because they have whatever they're doing. It's building that across whatever it is that you do, your vertical, your industry, whatnot. So in a hyper-local sense, that's the hard yards that really good salespeople have been doing forever, to be quite honest. That's the referrals, that's the word of mouth. It's amazing. It takes time. Not always easy. You got to be really good at what you do, but that's where this really gets, more helpful for the best salespeople, because now they're not out there, quote unquote, knocking on doors. Flip side of that coin, this scales into the digital world. So this is I've spoken about personal brand before, but this is really about taking it to a much more pointed level. So if you're a salesperson and you are not building a personal brand digitally, you are missing out. You are missing out on what that could mean for what's going on with your prospects, what's going on with your business, what's going on with the nature of the work that you do. And that has very little to do with the company that you work for, and a lot to do about what you know, and why you're good at what you do, and where you spend your time as a salesperson in that environment. So again, the holy grail here is I don't have to pick up the phone. The phone rings. This is becoming something I think a lot of sales teams don't spend enough time on, and they just think beating their head against whatever wall they're beating their head against today is the right approach, and it's not. However, everybody's got quotas. Everybody's got deals to make this week, this month, this quarter, this year. You need to shift that thinking. You need to shift that thinking towards, still got to do that, and in the short term, maybe I got to do some things I don't want to do or that aren't really effective or whatever. But when I switch that model to being much more about me being the expert, me having the word of mouth, me having the structure of doing that digitally and scaling that, suddenly worlds get very, very, very different and very easy. So enough for today. Think about what that's going to do for your business and your brand. So if you're a sales rep and you don't think your personal brand is important, this is your wake-up call. This is time for you to think differently. What would your life be like if you never had to cold call again? What would that be like for you? I'm going to say that's a pretty good life as a salesperson. Anyway, enough for today. Ruby says, you don't got to walk your dog, but your personal brand matters. All the best. Have a great one. Walkin and Talkin with Ruby.